We're going to make some blackberry jam. I've never made jam before. I have washed and weighed out 1.8 kilos of blackberries that I've foraged from the hedgerows, not from roadside, so hopefully the pollution will be a bit less. I've still got some left in here. I put some kitchen paper in the bottom of my bag to soak up any smooshiness, and I've got a few left here. So I'm going to wash these and put these in the fridge overnight and think of something to do with those tomorrow. But what I'm going to do now, in my pan that I'm going to cook the jam in, I'm going to layer, I think it's 1.5 kilos of caster sugar with the blackberries, cover it, leave it at room temperature overnight, and the sugar will start to macerate and dissolve so that I don't need to overcook my fruit and destroy it too much, because it would be nice to have some little plumpy bits, wouldn't it? Yeah, so I'll show you when I've layered up. So there we go. There is 1.5 kilos of caster sugar and 1.8 kilos of blackberries, and it's all layered up, and I'm just going to cover it and leave it and come back tomorrow and see what's what. It's the next morning and we are going to start to make our jam. Before I get this underway, we need to do something else. I've got these glass jars from Hobbycraft. They were £6 for 12, and I'm going to wash them in hot soapy water and then sterilise them in the oven for 15 minutes. I've got the oven on about 160, 170. I've washed my jars in hot soapy water, jars and lids. I found a couple of jars in the cupboard, empty jars, that I'm going to hopefully fill as well. And these are going to go in the oven for 15 minutes. According to the recipe that I'm following, I need 6 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. I'm not worrying about the pips because they add extra pectin, apparently. That's 2. We'll say that's 3. I clearly need some more lemons. I've got the pan on a moderate heat to dissolve the sugar slowly, and I need to stir occasionally. It says on the Certo recipe to crush the fruit, but I want my fruit whole, I think. So we'll see how we go. I'll come back to you at the next stage. Sugar's starting to dissolve, and we've got this gorgeous, gorgeous black colour. Oh, looking lovely. We're almost there, but the sugar's still a bit grainy in the liquid. It's had about 10 minutes on, as I say, a moderate heat. It says to heat gently at this stage to dissolve the sugar. All the graininess has gone from the liquid now, but you can see we're getting a kind of scum on the top, which is quite normal. So we've added a knob of butter to help prevent this. We're going to stir it in, then move to a higher heat, and we need to boil for 4 minutes. I've moved the pan to my highest heat and it's boiling now. I need to boil for 4 minutes. This is going to be very dangerous, so please take care. I've taken the pan on the heat, off the heat. It is going to be very, very hot. I need to add most of this pectin. So here we go. There's about 225 millilitres I'm adding. So we need to add this. Make sure we get those last little bits out. I've poured out about 25 millilitres because I don't need the 250 millilitres that's in here, because I haven't got 2 kilos of fruit. I've got 1.8 kilos. So I hope I've done the maths right. We will soon find out, won't we? Okay. And I need to stir it. It is incredibly hot. Obviously it's just come off a roiling boil. stirring that in. All this while my jars have been sterilising in the oven. They're still in the oven, but the oven is turned off now. I've had this saucer in the freezer and I've put about half a teaspoon of the liquid on the plate, and I need to check for a set. I don't know whether I want to dip my finger in there, whether it's still going to be really hot, but what it should do, if it's set, it should wrinkle, and it hasn't. So I'm going to add the rest of the pectin and boil for another 2 minutes. I'm having trouble with my jam setting, and I've boiled it again, but you can see it's not forming that wrinkle. And I've looked online for suggestions, and it says it can take 24 to 48 hours to set. I have boiled this to within an inch of its life, and I don't want to destroy the fruit, and I might have destroyed the pectin. I don't know, I'm not experienced enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jar just 1 pot of jam and see what it looks like tomorrow. Leave the rest in this pan with the lid on and come back and maybe boil it some more tomorrow. It's the next morning and it has started to set a little bit. I'm pleased this has thickened up much more, but I'm going to do 2 things just to help it on its way a little bit. I'm going to decant half of this into a bowl and heat half of it up and give it about 4 minutes boiling, and then do the wrinkle test and do the same with the other half of the mixture. I'm hoping that will give me better results. But yeah, this has definitely thickened up overnight, but it's still a little bit runny, nowhere near as runny as it was. So I'll come back to you when I do the next wrinkle test. I've had this little saucer in the freezer, and we're going to try the wrinkle test now. I'm not confident. Oh, but actually we are getting a little creasing, so I'm going to leave that at that because I think it will set in the jar. So we'll get this jarred up. So this is the second lot. Let's see what the wrinkle test is like this time. Oh, nailed it that time. And I've poured some of my mixture out of the pan into this jug to make it easier to get the jam into the jar. It's nice. So here, after a little bit of effort and a little bit of cleaning up, are 10 jars of blackberry or bramble jam. We'll have a little taste test in a little while and see what we think. I'm quite proud. I'm going to make some labels to go on the front, and I'll show you when I've done that. Here are my 10 little jars of blackberry jam. I've put labels on that says Ashley's Boston Bramble Jam. Boston is a Brummy word for brilliant. And all that remains to be done now is to try it. Oh, I'm nervous. What if it's no good? So I'm going to take one of my jars, undo the lid. Sorry, it's off camera. And we'll take off the wax paper. I'm not sure whether I should put this back on again afterwards or not. There is the jam inside. Oh, look at that. It looks like jam. I'm going to put some on a scone. and anoint with clotted cream. I love clotted cream. It's not very good for you, I know, but there we have clotted cream. And I'm going to eat and let you know what I think of it. I'm quite proud of that. My very first jam. Lessons learned. Next time I make some, I'm going to do half the quantity that I did the first time round, because I think I overcrowded the pan, and just give it slightly longer than it says. But I'm pleased with that for a first go, and I should be looking to see what I can make with other things, like crab apples I've noticed, and elderberries. So watch this space. Happy foraging!